Mind you, they have to prove this factor. So they have to prove that Kayla did not consent and that Aaron knew that or reasonably should have known that. So we're going to get into this because this element here, I think, is the biggest problem for them, and it opens the Pandora's box. Third, the image was obtained under circumstances or created under circumstances in which the actor knew or reasonably should have known that the person depicted had a reasonable expectation of privacy. Another element which opens up questions. We have questions about these two elements. I have no doubt that the person is identifiable. Number one, I have no doubt about that. But I have questions about these two. Next, except as provided in paragraph B, whoever violates subdivision 1 is guilty of a gross misdemeanor. They can be, whoever violates subdivision 1 may be sentenced to imprisonment for not more than 3 years or payment of a fine or both if the factors are present. If the person depicted suffers financial loss, if the actor disseminates the image with intent to profit. This is an issue for Aaron. And let me be very clear here. This is not an Aaron defense stream. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have said on my channel very openly, and Aaron has even quoted me as saying, hey, Aaron, shut the fuck up, bro. And I said that in the beginning. I told Aaron, shut up. And he said, no, I'm going to milk it for clout. And I go, okay, well, you're taking the risk, buddy. And this was a risk that Aaron assumed. Aaron has been, since this started months ago, milking this topic for clout. And to a certain extent, who can blame him? He's a radio show host who's largely had an unsuccessful radio show that's experienced little to no growth for decades. And this is the biggest thing that will ever happen to Aaron Amolte. So for him to take advantage of this is only natural. It's only normal. But there are sometimes consequences when you try to ride a specific wave. To be fair, Aaron says he has an attorney. Now, I'm not sure whether his attorney watches the Steel Toe Morning Show and knows everything he said. And I'm not sure he watches other shows like Kino Casino or other shows where Aaron's been running around doing this podcast circuit, trying to talk about this with anybody who will listen to him and their grandmother. I'm not sure his attorney has seen all that. And I'm not sure his attorney will be happy about some of the stuff he's disclosed. The actor maintains an internet site, an online service, or online application or mobile application for the purpose of disseminating the image. Well, maybe not that, but maybe the next one, posting it on a website, YouTube, or it being implied that they're talking about it on YouTube. I don't know. Or disseminating the image with intent to harass. Obviously, they're going to try to argue the intent here, right? And then obviously saying they obtain the image illegally. Now, here it says no defense. It is not a defense to the prosecution that the person consented to the capture or possession of the image. So the issue is, did they consent to the dissemination? Gator Time says, called it that Aaron would do something stupid. Aaron has been doing stupid things. You know what the first stupid thing he did? Entering into a swinging relationship with Nicholas Rekieta. That's the first stupid thing. That should have been the giveaway that Aaron was not the brightest cookie in the cookie jar. What's the charge here? Non-consensual dissemination of private sexual images, intentionally disseminating image without consent. So consent and finding out whether this is consensual is highly important. 3 years imprisonment, $5,000 fine, felony. The defendant, Aaron Michael Amolte, then and there being, did wrongfully, unlawfully, and feloniously and intentionally disseminate an image of another person who is depicted in a sexual act or whose intimate parts are exposed when the person is identifiable and without the person's consent, and did so with intent to harass the person depicted in the image. Let's be very clear, because I know that Nick is going to try to bury this. Nick is going to try to downplay this. This is a photo because intimate parts. Let's go down to intimate parts, because what has to be exposed means genitals, pubic area, anus, or if you're female, a partially or fully exposed nipple. So the least it could be is a nip, at the very least. And I'm sure I'm sure that the party line will be, this is just like a tit pic, right? It's just some tits or an accidental nip slip. Count two, non-consensual dissemination of private sexual images. Exact same thing, right? And then say, the exact same kind of terms here, right? So the defendant then and there did wrongfully, unlawfully, feloniously, and intentionally disseminate an image of another person who is depicted in a sexual act where his intimate parts are exposed when the person is identifiable and without the person's consent. The complainant states that the following facts establish probable cause. On July 17, 2024, law enforcement took a report of unauthorized dissemination of sexual images. Complaint. Okay. So this is after, stop for timeline here. This is after the case. So this is after the case has been filed. So Nick is already in trouble here. And at this point, you got to get into the mind of Nick, especially as he's going through either, drug withdrawal or, just manic, crazy polysubstance effects, right? His idea here is, okay, we got him. Because, they knew, okay, we can get him on this. And let's file this case. Now, who filed this? Was it Nick? No, it was KR. Fully identified in police reports. Let it be no doubt. We all know who KR is. This being KR does not make this any more anonymous. KR is Kayla Rekieta, obviously. It's just pretty clear here, right? And then just to be clear, NR, clearly Nick Rekieta, and AI is not Grok. AI is April Emolte. Now, Kayla Rekieta called in to report Aaron, and Aaron sending an individual a nude photo of her without consent. Kayla Rekieta reported over the course of several months, Nick Rekieta, April Emolte, and defendant communicated via an app called Signal. In case you guys don't know about Signal allows you to encrypt information, disappear information. The purpose of the app was to keep things private amongst each other, and all agreed nothing would be shared with others. I want to see that explicitly. Was that something that was said? Is it in the chat? Do you have proof of that? This is something you're going to need to prove, that all agreed nothing would be shared. You're going to need to put Nick on the stand, April on the stand, and Kayla. So all three of them, by the nature of this charge, every member of the swinging squad, the throuple, whatever you want to call this, all of them are potential witnesses. All of them can be brought to the stand. So this is what I'm saying. This is not true in Nick's drug case. Not everybody is necessarily needed to be brought to the stand or will be. Right? And there's different cases. There's Nick's case, there's Kayla's case, there's April's case, which has not been dismissed yet, if I believe correctly. Kayla sent nude photographs via Signal. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. In one sentence, we see a legal confirmation that Nick and Kayla and April and Aaron were distributing nudes via Signal. There's talk about them for years. They said they're aggressively monogamous, right? For most people, the conventional definition of aggressively monogamous doesn't involve that. Now, that said, listen, because if you have an open relationship, then the evidentiary glance needs to go broader than just yourself. If you are engaged in an open relationship between other couples, then the openness of the information is a material evidentiary question. In April, there was a breakdown and defendants started talking negatively about AR and AI. Well, why? On an online talk show, the Steel Toe Morning Show, getting the biggest ratings he's ever had, which isn't much, but Aaron was very happy about that. In May, he started talking negatively about Kayla Rekieta as well. At the end of April and beginning of May, defendants started sharing details of the relationship on the talk show. Well, nothing wrong with sharing the details of the relationship. May 27th, defendant had Gino fully identified in police reports on his talk show. During the show, defendant sent GB a text, which was a nude photo of Kayla Rekieta. She did not consent to this. We're going to get back to this. Well, I'm going to swing back. Don't worry. This is confirming that Aaron had a real nude of Kayla Rekieta, aggressively monogamous Kayla Rekieta, which is astounding to me, is how to this date, he hasn't just had the balls to say, yeah, I'm in an open relationship. Just say that. And I think everyone would be like, oh yeah, we all knew that in the first place. But he still is in this doubt phase of just pretending this isn't a thing, but it clearly is. It's now he's put this, him, Kayla, right? Those in this open throuple, right? Him, Kayla, and April, which are still in this throuple relationship. They've put this out there. They put their relationship up to public scrutiny, which it wasn't before. Nick Rekieta reported that there were pictures shared via the Signal app. In May, defendants started to talk about the relationship online. In May 27th, defendants sent GB a nude photo. So the nude photo has been confirmed to be real, confirmed to be out there. April. So once again, April reported. Nick Rekieta reported. What does that mean? It means Nick Rekieta talked to the police. Now, Nick Rekieta has a very specific legal theory in his criminal case for the cocaine. That is, the government is evil, and no matter what you tell them, they're going to pervert it, they're going to twist it. It's bad. You should never talk to them. Let's listen to what Nick has to say about talking to the police.
Like, what you say is noble and good, but I don't talk to them. What am I, some kind of snitch?
That's it. One more time.
Like, what you say is noble and good, but I don't talk to cops. What am I, some kind of snitch? What am I, some kind of snitch? What am I, some kind of snitch?